Ladies and gentlemen, Doc and Prof is presented by nothing. Just kidding. Everything. Oh, just kidding again. Doc Leesner here, the podcasting beast from the East, with the Professor John Gotti, the Game G, the Troll Master, the Data Analyzer, of his own fate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Terminator. Oh, and by the way, the cleaner. Not batting, clean up, but the cleaner.
Last night, the Astros is in the land of the free, but last night it was the home of the Braves. I am the best podcasting machine, least hype machine. Always tranquilo as the wise man of our tribal chief, Doc and Idilo. How are you doing? It's Wednesday.
I'm just a small town guy. I'm doing good though.
Yikes. I think we're gonna get dinged by Journey because of that. Thank you, Doc.
Man, we're just trying to take a journey through these World Series, through these power rankings, and through the debate amongst friends.
Yeah.
It's always a journey.
I unfortunately went to sleep around the 6th, but I was telling you before I finally decided to knock out for the night because it decided to rain. And you know, I am when it's raining outside, I'm just gonna sleep.
When it's cold outside.
But I was saying one of the issues that I was seeing immediately, I mean, everyone was pointing to the starting pitching for the Astros, but it was really the hitting. They couldn't really get on base. They really couldn't get on base. And that kind of, put them behind the 8 ball for a bit.
Yeah, and I tried to hang on myself. I think I told you I had some of that rum alternative, right? Some of that rum alternative and Coke, which is really good, by the way. Hopefully we can get them to sponsor the show. That would be fantastic. But I won't say their names until they pay us, right? Helen, can you go ahead and actually no? Can you send that to Scott?
Scott.
Yeah, send that to Scott.
Helen has
she's
way
standing
too
there.
much
I
work
mean, she's
to
standing there.
Helen has way too much work to do to make sure to curb a lot of things like that.
She's standing there watching me, right? Because of our show yesterday, which obviously we had a lot of explicit, quote unquote, explicit words being used. You can't use those words on air, Doc. Whatever, Helen. You. But I digress. It was a good game. I also stayed probably to about 6th inning. Like I told you, there was some really good pitching, really pitching blunders, right? Oh my God, they're about to, the Astros are about to pull their starting pitcher, and
they had to kind of do it. He had 2 innings pitched. We were talking about
my
Valdez.
goodness.
Which I literally was like, okay, if they don't pull him at the end of the 2nd inning, like this gonna be a very, very long. I mean, it just wasn't working. And
they were about to pull him. That's the part that stinks.
The problem is he actually had to dig into his curveball so soon. Like he just couldn't establish a base in his pitching.
Yeah. Like I told you yesterday,
also
that makes
the
me
Braves
pull out
lost.
The show.
Well, and also their Braves lost their starting pitcher as well too. I mean, and he was trending all over Twitter because he finished the inning on a broken freaking leg. And I had to have some fun with that. Shout out to Kurt Angle, tagging him on a few posts saying, he out there getting strikeouts on our broken freaking leg.
Yeah.
And
it was amazing.
But big shout outs to him though, and we hope that he recovers.
That was
as quickly as possible.
Morton.
That was
Charlie Morton.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a good job. I mean, 3 strikeouts. He got one. He only gave up 1 hit. 2 people got on base. Obviously, he had 2. The 2 innings. I think it was 2 innings and an out before he hurt his leg.
Yeah.
They credit him with 2.1 innings pitched.
Yeah, that's 2 innings and 1 out.
Yeah. which really, really stinks because he was pitching really well. But I just felt bad for the Astros pitcher because, like I said, Valdez, they were literally just about to pull him out the game for that two-run homer. Um, I mean, it was a rocket too.
It was.
I mean, also shout out to Joe Buck, man. Joe Buck.
No,
I mean, I know he's.
no, no, no,
I
not
can't give a
even.
shout out to Joe Buck.
No, no, forget
I
Joe
think Joe
Buck.
Buck does a great job.
Forget Joe Buck.
He does a really good job, man. Come on,
I have a
give
bias
Joe some.
against Joe Buck, but you can give him a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Joe
In
Buck,
fact,
man.
I'm
I'm the
gonna
one
take
going.
off the headset while you give him prop. Like that's how serious I am
I'll
about
give you.
this.
I'll give you the thumbs up once I'm finished. Shout out to Joe Buck. I mean, I thought he did a really good job calling the game. You know, usually when you hear an announcer, you hear a commentator, you think, hey, I'm only thinking about that sport. Like when you hear, like the Albert brothers, right? Marv Albert. You hear Marv Albert calling something different. You think, man, basketball, basketball. But shout out to Joe Buck. I didn't think football when Joe Buck was commentating. I thought he did a pretty good job. And we're gonna bring Johnny back in right now to commence the Joe Buck shout out. But shout out to him. Shout out to the
I'm
Braves
back.
for winning Game One.
I'm back.
Obviously, Game
Joe Buck, you
Two.
think I'm a hero, Joe Buck? I am not a hero.
Oh God! But Game Two tonight at 8. It's just 8:09. I guess
hmm
that's the time that they plan
The
on getting started.
first pitch is gonna happen. Yeah,
So yeah, we'll see what happens Game Two. See if the
yeah. It's
Astros
gonna
can
be.
bounce
It should
back.
be a bounce back game. I don't think because the Astros have some great hitters, so I don't think they're gonna have the type of night they had anymore.
Agreed. Agreed.
I mean,
But
Altuve
let's move
struck out
on.
3 times like that.
He
It
did,
was
and it
pretty
was
rare.
crazy. That it's funny, and I'm glad you said that. We'll move on to football, but the last one of the last innings that I saw, he came up, and I didn't notice him come up. I think I missed his previous strikeouts, but the one that
Mhm.
I saw right before the fifth, sixth inning, he came up to the plate. I mean, a full set of energy. He's spitting. He's winging that bat around, and he's got it going. And then that boy pop flied so fast, and I was
Yep.
like, "Oh my goodness, this is the type of night that they're having." It
I
was like
mean,
the
this was
quickest
this
pop
was a
fly
chess
ever.
game. This was a chess game.
hmm Really, really good. But we'll see what happens game two between the Astros and the Braves. And we'll go from there. But let's get to the gridiron, Johnny. Let's get to this Monday night game that we didn't get a chance to talk about, obviously, due to the dark side of the ring with that scumbag
I
Rob
mean, if you ask a
Black
lot of
taking up
people,
our time.
this game was also pretty dark side because a lot of people
No, it
wasn't
was.
very intrigued by it because they was expecting, a high scoring affair or a blowout at least.
I don't think so. I mean, the Saints had opportunities, big opportunities down the field. Obviously, you chose the Saints. I chose the Seahawks for good reason. I mean, clearly 13-10. We did a good job with our
hmm
predictions. I think you said that it would be a deep pass. I think that would end them. Well, Jameis definitely took his shots.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been right, but you know,
It
drops
should have been
happen.
right. Drops. The routes were cut off. EFL legend
EFL
Traquan
legend
Smith.
Traycon Smith.
Mhm. Yep. I mean, he only had one catch for 11 yards, but the three targets that he had were really big because one was down the field, another one he got called for offensive pass interference.
Yep.
But shout out to Alvin Kamara who just continues to, rack up yards. The play that they scored in the first half, Jameis gets the snap. The ball is literally touching the ground. He picks it up and throws it to Alvin Kamara, who runs it in for the score. That's typical Jameis Winston fashion.
I mean,
You
what's
can't.
not typical of Jameis Winston fashion is the fact that he ended the game with 2 sacks, 1 TD, and no interceptions.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody said he's on pace to have 40 touchdowns and only like 10 or 13, 10 to 13 interceptions.
Yep,
So he's definitely cut it down. But again, they're not asking him to do anything crazy.
exactly.
This is his, you know, he's again, he's not trying to win the game on every throw.
Well, he's
He's
not trying
checking
to
it
throw
down.
home run balls either, because even those
True.
deep passes that he was throwing last night, those were some dimes.
They were,
They
and
were
they should have
some
been caught.
beautiful passes.
Yeah. Well, we know, like I said, we know Jameis has the
The
talent.
skills to pay the
Yeah.
bills.
Just a matter of him making the right reads, and I guess that's the difference between obviously him and Drew is that Drew is one read, two read, check it down, or in this situation, Jameis can run, which he did. I think he ran a couple times last night. He actually
Yeah,
ran eight
eight
times.
times for 40
S-
yards.
Yeah, which is perfect. That's perfect for Jameis. Get him out of there. He can move his legs. I saw the leadership ability, him yelling at Traquan Smith about something, probably that
I feel like
pass.
people just want to just be more Jameis Winston, but he's actually having a really good season this year.
Yeah, he is. There's no question about it. Like I said, I didn't have any issues with Jameis, but you already know me. It's like
I know.
once once a guy leaves,
Leaves your team,
I
he's
mean
dead
that.
to you.
Yeah, like I could care less at this point. Like it is what it is. Hey, Jameis Winston right now, 1,114 passing yards. Um, he's got 89 for 151, which is pretty good for him. Almost
Hmm.
a he's a you know 59% completion rating, 13 touchdowns, three interceptions, 102.4 rating. Doing really good. He has 11 passes over 4 yards, and he's only been sacked 11 times, which is actually really really good. Um, compared to some of the other quarterbacks, you think about it. The most sacked right now, Justin Fields, obviously after getting destroyed this weekend, and the other one at 22, and that stinks because he didn't even start the season as a starter. So the
Yep.
fact that he had 22 sacks against him already is pretty rough. Ryan Tannehill, Lamar Jackson, Sam Donald all have 21 sacks as well. So the fact that that means Jameis is getting the ball out of his hands faster. He's not, holding the ball, which is one of the things that he had done frequently in Tampa. So he's definitely playing better. I'll give him credit. I'm curious to see, how they spank us this week. We'll go over our predictions, of course, on Friday, but I'm curious to see how they're gonna spank us up, right?
I'm not
Aren't
doing
you?
this with you. I'm not doing this with you. This
Okay.
isn't happening.
All right. Okay.
Let's get
So I
into the
guess
power
we'll move
rankings.
on to power rankings. Remaining number one, we have the undefeated Arizona Cardinals, who obviously got a new weapon in Zach Ertz, and he caught a 47-yard touchdown, which is
Happy National Tight End Day.
crazy, right? Because that's a career long for him,
Well, because he usually get a lot of
which
his touchdowns in the red zone.
red zone, yeah. So, I mean, you have that. Obviously, you had the storyline between, obviously, the former Houston players, JJ and Hopkins, going and getting their quote unquote
I
revenge.
mean, a college team get revenge on the Texans.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
I'll say it. I'll say something
Yeah,
controversial for once.
yeah. I think that's good. I think it's good for you to say that. Go ahead, Johnny. Do
Number
it.
two, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were number three last week. Tom Brady
Mhm.
leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns with 21 touchdowns this season.
No, definitely dominating, man. I'm surprised we moved up because I mean, although we won 38-3,
I think
we
that's
left a
why
lot of points.
it was a very convincing win, even though there were a lot
Mm,
of points. I'm not looking at it as Doc being a Bucks fan.
oh my God, they
I'm
left a lot of
looking
points
at
on
it.
the board.
Of course they did, but I mean, you can say that for
Yeah,
almost any team in any game this season. Like, there's always going to
nah,
be times where
no,
you're
no,
leaving
no, no,
points on the field.
no,
But
no,
they beat up,
no.
relatively pretty good defense and the Bears. That's it, relatively. Relatively.
Yeah, relatively is really important here, but
That's why
I'll
I
allow it.
chose that. That's why I didn't say a
No,
good.
I'll
Defense.
allow it. We'll see. I think if we beat
And
the
the
Saints,
Bucks
which I don't think
defense
so.
and the Bucks defense just absolutely, swarm for Justin Fields.
Yeah, if we can muster up, a similar offense against the Saints, then I think we'll deserve that number 2 slot. But I don't think we would fall too far if we lose to the Saints.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
But then you have the number 3 Buffalo Bills, who obviously had that frustrating loss to the Titans in Week 6.
Yeah, there's no
Um,
reason for them to go
but
1-3 right now.
exactly, exactly. Then you got them boys, who remain number 4. They're 5-1. You
Hmm.
know, they got to their bye week. Perfect time. They rest some of their players.
Of course.
So
Yeah,
I
because
mean, it's
Dak
good that they
is
don't
dealing with a calf injury too. So
exactly. So it's good that they didn't drop too far, or they didn't drop at all. They just stayed at number 4. So it's kind of
yep.
perfect. Yeah, number 5, you got the Los Angeles Rams, who did beat the Lions. I'm not 100% sure they should have moved up 2 slots, but I think it's because of
Well, I
who's
think
number
it's because
6.
what we said on Monday. The Detroit Lions is the best 0-7 team in NFL history.
Gotcha.
I think that's why. Like the potential's there. It's just that they just can't get past that last hump. And the Lions threw everything at the Rams.
I see.
And the fact that
Yeah.
they were able to weather that storm and still come out with a win, like that's pretty significant.
No, you're absolutely right. And then we have the Green Bay Packers, who stayed and remained at number 6. But it mentions that week 1 loss and as the first caveat there,
I'm
which is
literally
why,
having to read this season.
yeah.
I'm literally having to
But
read this
again,
season.
I think I told you that I didn't expect them to move
Here's
up.
here's the
Um,
thing though, because tomorrow we're going to do our Thursday night football prediction. I bet you if the
which is the
Packers
biggest
lose, they're gonna drop down to like number 9 or number 10.
that I can see happening, or they might. I think they might drop down to 7 or 8. I'm gonna say 7 or 8.
Okay.
Um, the one thing I do notice here, no Ravens, right? No Ravens in the top
Well,
7,
we'll
right?
we'll we'll get to them.
Hey, because you think about it, they were at number 5 forever. So we got the
I know,
Green Bay
but
Packers at number
we'll
6.
get to them. We'll give them their dues.
I didn't
We'll
look.
talk about
Yeah, I
number
didn't. I
7.
didn't look. I didn't look at where they are. So I'm
I know,
just
but
saying that there's
we'll
no. Yeah.
get to them. Let's get to number
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
We need to give all these teams kudos.
Well, no, we're definitely gonna give them kudos, but like I said, I didn't look at the list. I don't know who's after number 7. I have no idea. I just noticed immediately that the Ravens are not in the top
Okay.
7.
Well,
But we
let's
have the
talk about
Bengals
to
at
the
number
team
7,
who defeated those Ravens.
and that's what made me think about it. Like, oh snap, the Ravens are finally out. Like, despite being in, for several weeks, and we kind of questioned it. But the Bengals, who needed this win in order to say, hey, we're a pretty good team, and
I
I
feel
know
like
you guys want to.
I feel like there was unfairly too much stock on the Bengals having to win this game
Mm,
because
I don't think
I
so.
feel like the fact that they took the Packers to the brink like should have put some more respect on their names.
I don't think so. I don't. Well, now are you saying that the Bengals had to win this, or the Ravens had to win this?
No, the Bengals. I literally said if
Oh,
the
I
Ravens
thought you
won
said the
this,
Ravens.
no, they would have been like top 3 if they won that game. They would have said, "Oh my goodness, the Bengals are really good." And I'm right. That's why you're laughing because I'm right.
No, I think they probably would have remained number 4 or 5. Probably would have dropped the Bills down, maybe, um, or the Packers, would have slid down one, I guess.
Exactly.
Uh, but the Bengals deserved it. I mean, they've been playing great defense. Joe Burrows and Jamar Chase have, come together. It was a perfect draft by them. Um, I mean, it's just really good. What Jamar Chase is able to do with Joe Burrow is perfect.
Yep,
So obviously, it's working, and the Bengals are really doing a good job.
they are.
And they beat a good Ravens team. I mean, not only beat them, but I mean,
They
I mean, 41
crushed
17.
them.
Yeah, I mean, took advantage of all of the Ravens'
And
weaknesses,
it
and
was, great defensive plan to basically contain Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
and that didn't really help them open up that passing game. And the Ravens defense that we kept saying has been pretty suspect
Hmm.
has been suspect. I
So I guess
I
now,
mean, and we always say like there's always like that one week that you see defenses just go, "Oh my gosh, like this is, Super Bowl caliber level defensive effort right here." But then the next week you absolutely crap the bed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Baltimore Ravens defense.
and the Baltimore Ravens are number 8. I see dropping from number 5. They hit their bye week at 5-2, which is good. Top 10 still. Which is why I don't think the Packers would fall out. I think they would kind of just shift down, 1 or 2 slots if they lose. But I mean, can't count out Aaron Rodgers, and you can't count out the Packers defense because
Nope.
they've been playing pretty well. Um, yeah, I mean, they lost
They
bad.
lost bad.
Yeah. At number 9, you got the Los Angeles Chargers.
Whom now everyone's calling their bye week their second bye week because of when they got, crushed by the Ravens. Ha ha, it's really funny. Now let's hear people say the same thing about the Ravens. Because how apropos that the same week that the Chargers is on bye and they call it their second bye week, the Ravens get crushed themselves before their bye week. So I want to hear people have that same energy. I'm all about
I
equality
don't
here,
think they,
folks. I'm all about
I don't
equality.
think they're gonna have that same equality. I don't see it happening. But to round out number 10, we got the Tennessee Titans, who I'm surprised is number 10.
You think they should be higher?
I do. I mean, obviously, we know that they lost to the Jets a couple weeks ago, and I think this list sometimes goes too heavy on the past and not the present.
That's what I was saying about the
Um,
Packers this whole season.
yeah, I mean, it's not just them though. I mean, you think about it, it's not just the Packers. I mean, they're talking about Tennessee.
Yep.
Like I said, I always talk about how the Bucks stink it up, against teams
I
every week.
mean,
Personally, in my
I feel like that's more of an unfair thing within you, but we're not going to
But I
go.
mean, look at the first sentence for even the Chargers. So Justin Herbert stunk up the joint 2 Sundays ago in Baltimore. But it's like, who cares? What are they doing right now?
Well, they're on a bye week right now.
That's what I'm saying. But they're talking about 2 Sundays ago. Like,
I
forget
know.
that. Yeah, forget that. Forget 2 Sundays ago. What did they do? What did they do last Sunday? What did they
Well, and
do
that's why I'm always
this
looking at
Sunday?
these power rankings, and I'm always adjusting it because what did they do this week that'll adjust where they are for the power rankings? Not what happened in week one, not what happened
Right,
2 Sundays ago, which is why I
right.
have a real problem with them saying the Packers have now won 6 straight since their ugly week one defeat to the Saints. What the bleep does that have to do with anything? First, they said the Packers was
Absolutely
done. Then they
nothing.
said Aaron Rodgers finally decided he wanted to enjoy playing football again. Now they're getting on him because he basically is claiming a stock in the Bears franchise.
Hmm.
Like, I don't understand why we go backwards to try to go forwards in these power rankings, Doc. Like it's unbelievable. But some honorable mentions: number 11 going up 4 ranks. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, 2-0 since Gruden Gate, and that's even without Darren Waller playing too. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And of course, the
It
fall
is.
from grace. We have the Kansas City Chiefs dropping 5 slots down to 14.
It's
It's not like they
fantastic,
can't.
actually.
It's not like they can't just wake up and start running the table. Like they could still do that. I feel like people are just like we've seen teams come back and make it to a wild card from like 3-4, 0-2. Like I'm not saying anything yet about the Chiefs. I know it's fun to start kicking teams while they're
Yeah,
down, but like that's I don't
I
know about
think.
that
Yeah,
one.
I think stopping at New Orleans is good at number 12. I think that's a good ending point because, like I said, it's still early. It's only 7 weeks. We got
Yep, this week
99
is
weeks left.
the official midpoint of the season now.
Yeah, we got the trade deadline, coming soon, which I believe is this week.
It is.
I
It's
don't
on
think there's
Thursday.
going to be anything crazy, but we'll see what happens.
He says that, and then the Bucks trade Ronald Jones, and he's losing his mind, like, "Oh my gosh!" Which I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think so. I mean, they probably would consider it, but
Well, I mean,
I don't think so.
you should always consider anything.
I don't know. Consideration is a hard thing. It's a hard thing, man, because Rojo, I mean, and they did let him shine a little bit, so it wouldn't put it past me, like if somebody called and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you, you know, whatever." I guess it would have to be
hopefully they
something.
don't say it like that.
I mean, it might. It's possible. So it's possible. I mean, you just never know, man. I mean, like I said, Rojo played really well. I think the early fumbles is really what kind of just hurts his momentum.
Mm-hmm. But
But
you may tell you something else though, and I'll let you get to the finale.
Finelema,
The hex that's been on kickers this season continues.
man, fudge kickers.
Okay, we're
Just
gonna
kidding.
let Doc continue on with that. Yep.
I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform. But if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to not only hear this episode, but all of the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over game 2 of the World Series, as well as deliver the news, the analysis, and the reads.